And we're live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our interview series. Today, I have an incredible guest, Tracy Blazier. I don't know if I pronounce your name correctly. Do I pronounce your name correctly? Say it.
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's really good to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy because you are everything. You combine everything I'm so excited about. You are spiritual empath, you are a shaman, you are national award-winning author and a speaker, and who does research and practice, and it's just written books, and you're like my soul sister. Okay. So thank you for finding time. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about how to master your shadow, which is incredibly important, I think, in our society, because especially in the United States of America, I represent different types, parts of the universe. And I noticed that here we really don't have enough space for the negative, right? We're always trying positive, right? So we're going to talk about this today. But before we do, my question to you, I love how I do the same, and it's so unique and so different. You combine two fields that are seemingly opposite, right? You combine research and spiritual world. What brought you to this? Because I know it's a brave move. And how does it help you understand the humans on a deeper level?
For me, I didn't come to it in that way. For me, spirituality is science. It's just that spirituality or science hasn't yet caught up with the fast-paced vibration of spirit. So I know something. It's in my spirit, and I know anybody to prove it to me. And I honestly, I don't really need to prove it to other people. So for me, I've based my career, and I work with people and my colleagues and everyone who in my direction. They're willing to receive what I have and then make what they need to make of it. Because sometimes you for a bunch of things I was born with, and then I had to learn to express them. So learning to express something isn't the same as already knowing it. You can know a lot of things, but have no real ability, science, to express the way in which we express our spirituality. It's a way we address the cosmos.
I love it.
And I think when we take that into, for me, human, I was on a phone call yesterday and somebody asked me my race, and I was like, human?
I know, right?
Oh, that's right. They're coming from this whole other place where that's a major thought and concern.
Very interesting.
It didn't occur to me. But who we are as human beings, how we relate, master all the levels of ourselves, including what we call the shadow side. And the shadow, we're going to define that as the part of ourself that at times can be hidden from us. It's just as powerful, just as potent, just as necessary, can bring just as much joy, anchors all the light and beauty that we are, right? But sometimes we just don't have the eyesight, if you will, or the vision to see it. And so it takes us time to learn to get to know that aspect of ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. And, that was my second question, is that, we're always running. We don't want to feel bad. And we're conditioned to really deny that part of ourselves. And I know in my practice, I feel that is a big reason for depression, because we really, suppress and, have all of these blocks, and also from cutting off from our life purpose, because sometimes pain is the quickest way to find your life purpose. What do you think about it? And how do you teach yours, what do you do with your clients when they come to you and they're suppressed their negative energy?
Right. I completely agree with you. I think depression is the way in which our higher self slows us down so that we can things that are most valuable to us at any given time. So thoughts and emotions are like arrows from the creator into our physical reality.
Mm-hmm.
We feel, but that pain alerts us to a whole other message, right?
Mm-hmm.
We may be feeling, humiliation, but through humiliation, we have to recognize a whole other level of need that we have, not need from need that our heart has of love from ourselves, right? So
Something is
whatever
going on with
whatever negative emotion.
uh-huh. You know, something is going on with your mic. Sometimes your words disappear. So maybe, I don't know what's going on, but I love the way you put things. I love that you say that shadow is as important as our light, right? And that depression is something that slows down our soul so we can really reveal important lessons, right, for us. You know, you talk a lot about the topic of, I love the term, personal soul excavation. I love it.
Yes.
What is it? Can you
Yes.
define it? And why is it important?
Every all of us are born with imprints. I call them imprints. You can call them past lives.
Mhm.
You can call, they're also personality aspects, sometimes other entities. When you asked me how I came to this relationship between spirituality and science, I was born multi-spirited. I had multiple with me in this incarnation, and it took me understand that was happening on a conscious level, get to describe it, find out why they were there, what they wanted, and how I could move forward with them or without them.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that, right? Every individual has their own relationship to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with the soul, we kind of dig in to we start place. First of all, we can look at our inclinations and our behavior and our reactions to things.
Mm-hmm.
Those deeply unconscious sometimes responses to things give us an indication of some of the imprints we may have, or what we might call soul, a past life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I was not deeply religious in this life, but I have multiple incarnations with several. So I love religion. I
Mm-hmm.
love churches, synagogue, mosques, like whatever building houses somebody's intent to join with the creator is precious. It's multiple paths to one place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be in a position in a religion that I need to say that other people are wrong so that I can be right.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are in that place, and when they are, that's cool. Do your thing. Right? That's how they need to learn, and the pace that they need to go to what's the word I want? Cultivate their
Mm-hmm.
relationship with the creator. We all cultivate a creator, and we do that through our own spirit, the information we came in with, and then how we relate or nurture it in this physical world.
Oh, I love it. So, soul excavation is we're digging through all of these dimensions that we were brought with us into this reality. And now, how do we utilize all of them to communicate with this physical reality, but also still keep the connection with something higher than ourselves, whatever you call it, right? Spirit, universe. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So,
Well, I think.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It is, in a sense, is also accepting our shadow, right? And understanding the lessons that our shadow brings. Could you give us some concrete strategies or techniques of how can we, because many people are so in denial of their shadow, they don't even know what's going on. They have no idea that they're angry or they have shame. You know, it's
right.
scary to me. So do you have
Absolutely.
any techniques on, first of all, how to even be in touch with that negative side of ourselves? And second, how can we productively use it in order to build that connection? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we'll take the holidays for example. It's a time where families are being brought together, and for the that have kind of split apart or moved across the country or the world away from each other, and they only communicate in short, concrete experiences or whatever. When you they've done that without the benefit of actually working through the things that trigger them, or the things that make them feel bad about themselves, or the thing that put them in a position to respond in a way they do not feel in control of. Okay, so when families are brought together for the holidays, Uncle so much, or Auntie so and so is going to ask me when I'm getting married, and there's all of these family dynamics that happen. Dad always criticizes me. Whatever I do is not enough, right? So paying attention and not feeling bad for feeling bad, but choosing not to engage it with the person you're dealing with until you know exactly what it is that you need to say. Mm-hmm. The first understand is that our spirit speaks to us first through what we don't consciously know about ourselves. And so it shows as resistance, the ways in which we judge other people. Oh, well, God, he's kind of a jerk, or wow, that was kind of curt. You didn't have to be so rude in speaking to me, right? All like what you see other people doing has a relationship to you and how you are.
I agree.
At this time, right? So paying attention to that says, okay, noticed, I just noticed them being short-tempered.
Yeah.
Where am I with my patients? Mm-hmm. Right? And when you can make that personal acknowledgement, there's a sense of what's the word? Because you see, oh, okay, so I see that. Or if you say, I'm patient. Oh, I'm patient. I'm patient with everybody, mm-hmm. right? Then mm-hmm. it makes you address maybe your tone of voice, or how you're speaking to yourself, or what your inner talk is to yourself, or right. So all of those things are little key notes to pay attention to, and the more you can pay attention and relate them back to yourself, the less you have a need to bring that, what we'll call the negative behavior, into the family dynamic, or but you can stop it with yourself. Mm-hmm. When you feel at peace with who you are, it doesn't matter who other people are or their behavior, because it's easier for you to either address it calmly and firmly by setting a boundary, mm-hmm. or choosing not to participate at all because you don't yet with setting boundaries.
I hear you.
Right? But it takes away all of that stuff.
Yep. This is great. Thank you so much. Well, you addressed the holidays which are coming, right? And many people also feel very sad during holidays because they're grieving somebody who is gone. And again, grief is also an energy that many of us, we don't go through the grief in a healthy way. We just suppress it, go right back to work, right? I remember when my grandmother passed away, I had 2 days. And then I had to be back at work. I'm like, are you kidding me? So you are also a grief counselor. Can you give us what are some strategies you can give us? What can we do with all of this grief, especially during holidays?
Yeah, so holiday, because lost somebody around this time. And so every holiday season, that grief comes back. Don't be ashamed to grieve, and don't feel like you need to express or don't feel like you need to explain your grief to other people on their benefit. People have this illusion that at the holidays, that's my cat.
I know my cat in every video except for today. So we love animals. I love cats. Okay. Mine is right there. I'm going to show you.
Oh, wonderful. The whole family's here.
Yes.
So don't feel like you have to be extra happy because it's the holidays. That's not how it works. If you don't judge yourself, then other people. When I lived in New York City, I was in a long-suffering relationship to grief. And I literally, that when the grief, if I was on the train and the grief happened, I just sat and bawled my eyes out. And the more I just did it, not trying to hide it, not bringing attention to it, but just expressing it, most people didn't even look at me. And the few people who would look at me and say, hey, are you all right? You know, they felt like they wanted to check in with me. They did that.
Yes.
And it was usually the homeless population that were the ones to be able to look at me and say, hey, okay.
Yeah.
You know, so I find that, you know, say you're in the family dynamic and everybody's sitting around at dinner and somebody says something, or you have this, you know, feeling of your mom or your friend that you've just lost, or whatever, and those tears come up, let them come. You know, if somebody says, hey, are you all right? I am, thank you. Just thinking of mom.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to, they don't need to stop you from doing what you're doing. You need all the attention at the table, right? It's okay to have grief and allow that energy to move through you and out of you. Grief comes in waves.
Exactly.
So the wave,
it ends. The wave ends.
Mm-hmm. It does. There's a finite end to it, and you can move through it, you know, pat your face and you know, move on to dessert, right? It doesn't have to be a big dramatic thing where now you've ruined dinner because, you know, you're too emotional. I mean, like all of those things that people say aren't about you. They're about their own discomfort with their grief. Say that. Nothing shuts down a conversation at the dinner table if emotional. Hey, look, you may not be comfortable, but I am with mine.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Right? There's never.
Yeah, whenever people judge us for expressing our negative emotions, it means that they don't have space in their own life for expressing their negative emotion. Absolutely. I agree with you. Right. Tracy, you are amazing. We can talk for hours, and I hope we're going to do this again soon. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely.
How can people find you?
That's my pleasure.
How can people find you?
Well, you can go to tracydunblazer.com, which is TraceeDunblazer. You can Google Tracy Dunblazer or Tracy Dunblazer Spiritual Empath. You can find me on Facebook, and then you can do @GoTracy on Instagram. 1,000 places, and definitely reach out. I've got a couple of books. You can find everything that I do on Amazon.
Thank you. Thank you. And you're tagged in
It's really been great.
So people can go and on your page and connect with you directly. So thank you so much for this wonderful conversation about uncomfortable things, making it very comfortable for us. And we will see you soon. And this is my cat, Marushka. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.